Another one that's that I was thinking of, where I was saying before that the music kind of goes with the artwork is Swallow the Sun.
Oh yes, definitely.
And their artwork is really just like eerie. What's their first album?
Morning Never Came.
Yeah, The Morning Never Came. That album is like a picture of like an old broken down house with lights on the inside, and it's dark out, and there's like eerie trees, and you just get this feeling from looking at the album. And then once you hear the album, it's just like, wow, like, okay, I understand now. Like the picture's already painted for you, you know.
Yep.
And it's covers like that I really like. How, you know, like I said before, it just goes really well with the music and fits with the storyline.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Swallow the Sun is a band that does that so well, because I mean, the Morning Never Came album cover is great. What comes to mind, the Plague of Butterflies cover, it's just got, you know, it's this dark cover, and it's so hopeless, and it just conveys so much the style of the music.
Yeah.
One of the particular artists that I think needs to be mentioned is Travis Smith, who's done the last couple Catatonia album covers.
Oh yeah.
And what I think, along the lines of what you were saying about Mastodon, is that Catatonia has done a good job, and working with Travis Smith, it's kind of making it a theme throughout the disc. So the artwork for The Great Cold Distance, you know, it's kind of that red and black cover with the guy kind of screaming. And each single that they released from that album had another picture drawn in the same style that were basically, you know, kind of parts of the story. So the My Twin one was kind of like these conjoined twins with the buildings in the background. And, and I think that it's cool that they treat it like artwork rather than just, you know, a little piece of paper in the front of your album. You know, that they're getting real people to do this stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that deserved it. And even, I know you're a big fan of the Night is the New Day album cover, which I'm actually looking at it right now. You know, it has the statue on it, but inside the statue is actually a representation of some of the Great Cold Distance artwork, which I had kind of passed on before. But Travis Smith also did, I want to say, the last two Nevermore covers, The Obsidian Conspiracy and This Godless Endeavor, I think. I think he did both. But, you know, obviously the guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But, you know, one of the other ones that, you know, really comes to mind for me is Symphony X.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Whether or not, you know, everybody out there knows, there are awards given for album artwork. And while I'm not a huge fan of the artwork for Iconoclast, the artwork and packaging for Paradise Lost was incredible.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And, you know, the original release of Paradise Lost, it was kind of a digipack packaging, and it unfolded for like the flames of, you know, of hell, and it was pretty intense.
Yeah, it was like almost like a pop-out book.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's great too, because, you know, again, they're treating it like art instead of just packaging.
Right.
But now, on the flip side, there are bands that I think get the artwork so wrong. Either they're misrepresenting with their artwork, or they just don't do a good job with the artwork.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this because I know you're a fan, but Arch Enemy, I don't think their artwork is really anything.
Yeah, it's not. It's,
especially the new album.
Yeah. The new album is horrible. The cover, I didn't like the new album at all. I mean the cover. Their other ones are just basic skulls and
and I'm all fine with, you know, the theme. You know, for instance, Iron Maiden has the same, you know, Eddie is on all the album covers. Right. Megadeth has Vic Rattlehead.
Oh yeah,
is on all the covers, which is, I have no problem with that, but you know, you got to do something. You can't just, you know, put him on there. We're like, oh, there he is. All right. You see, we did this album. It's on there.
No, I agree. I forgot about Arch Enemy's album covers. They're plain.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And I guess there's nothing really wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a plain album cover. But if you have an opportunity to kind of represent yourself through your album art, why not? Kind of do that. Especially since there are so many bands that do it so well. Well,
one thing that I want to mention that I don't really like when bands do for their album cover is...
I already know what you're going to say.
Is take like real pictures of themselves. For example, Burzum. They're older.
Yeah.
album, some of their stuff, and it's more of the black metal genre of bands that are doing this kind of music, kind of album covers. But
the face paint and all that stuff. Just kind of them on the cover, like
just standing there. Yeah, I mean the one,
badass.
The one that Burzum or Varg is on the front, and he's just holding like that,
that spiked bat.
That spiked bat, when he's younger. Or even what was it? It was Mayhem that took a picture of the dead bandmate that was years ago.
Blew his brains out.
Yeah. And when he died, the first thing the guy did was take a picture of him, and they used that as their
would make good album cover. It's brutal.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you on that.
I mean, I understand they are trying to. That's how they are trying to express themselves. But I don't know. I feel like, I guess I'm just more of a fan of the drawn out kind. You could do so much more with it.
Yeah, you can do so much more, and you can really tell some sort of story.
Yeah, you don't have to really kill a person and take a picture in order to get what you are trying to spread. Bands like Cannibal Corpse, they do a good job of
they got
keeping it pretty gruesome.
And as I recall from the metal documentary, Metal: A Headbanger's Journey, it said that half of their artwork is banned in countries across the world. They have to put like slip covers over. Look at even one of the last Meshuggah albums, Obzen. The actual album artwork was banned, so they had to kind of put that slip case over it that didn't show.
It was like
everything.
a zoomed in picture of it. Yeah. Just the guy couldn't see a lot of the blood and everything.
And Dimmu Borgir has some pretty intense album artwork.
Yep, they had to cover that too, and you can get the original album artwork inside, right?
Yep.
If you
What
buy
album
the
is
deluxe
that?
edition. En Sorte Diablo.
Oh yes. Yep, that's right. The actual artwork is inside. Mm-hmm. And honestly, out of all the crazy artwork I've seen, that one's not actually that
it's
shocking.
Not even it's not
but
even that
it's just the way the world works. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to turn into a Walmart soon. You're going to have to have puppies and kitties on the front of every album.
Same with, I mean, we've talked about this in the past, but same with Slayer when they came out with
God Hates Us All.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had the Bibles, like the bloody Bibles on there, and they changed it to like the little series of crosses on just the white cover.
It had Slayer like slashed across the Bible with blood on it, and the label said no.
Yeah, that's a shame. I basically my thought is, if you have a problem with the artwork, just don't buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's just like everything else. If you have a problem with the artwork or the lyrical content or the name of the album, then just don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be able to censor artwork. I mean, with the exception of, if it has like a picture of a little girl getting raped or something, that's a little different. But, I don't think religious belief should come in the way of album artwork. Now, actually, one of the bands I wanted to mention for a band that I thought kind of did it wrong, I actually have two. One was a band that I had done a review for a while ago, While Heaven Wept. Mm-hmm. I remember both of us looking at the album cover and really kind of expecting a power metal album because it was kind of a picture of space and the stars, and it just really seemed like something that like a Stradivarius would have done. And of course, the album was not power metal, and I think my enjoyment of the album was reduced just by the fact that I didn't get what I thought I was going to get.
Yeah.
And in the same vein, a band that I have a review coming up for this week is this band called Acribi, or Acribi, I'm not really sure.
Acribi?
Yeah. And the artwork is kind of intense in that it's kind of this dark landscape with like what looks like a lighthouse in the back, fire, flames, and just a bird sitting in the foreground. And it's kind of got this intense artwork, but the album is not at all like that. It's a more sometimes operatic album, and I kind of found that to be a little weird. Again, I have no problem with it. It's, you make your album artwork whatever you want, but just kind of, if you have the opportunity to give a little heads up, is like, here's what we're doing,
right?
Which I think you and I have talked about this quite a bit. When you're looking at, if you're holding a CD in your hand and you see someone in the CD wearing a suit of armor, holding a sword or an axe, you're going to get a folk metal album or a Viking metal album.
Right.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
If you see dragons on the front, it's probably like a fantasy power metal album.
Yeah.
And I think
pretty clear.
Yeah, that's fine. And again, I'm not saying you have to, give me your whole life story on your album cover, but there are those kind of paradigms of this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, I respect that. I respect that.
Something that I don't like about what some of the bands do is the one example I have right now that I can think of is Hammerfall, the band Hammerfall.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember or their newest album cover?
Infected, yep. It was the biohazard symbol, and then they changed it to the hand.
Oh yeah, right. And I compared to their other stuff, their older stuff was like cool, like fantasy stuff.
Yep.
And that's what they are, you know. Like they had like I forget, he was like some sort of Titan or Viking or something that they used to have a picture of with, with like a large hammer or some sort.
Yep.
And I thought, maybe they would just keep going with that, but they changed it completely. And even if they kept the biohazard on, I wouldn't like that either,
Yeah, it doesn't make. I mean, it makes sense for the name of the album. The name of the album is Infected, and it's the biohazard symbol. It makes sense, but it doesn't really go with their chain of
style.
album.
Yeah, I wouldn't see it and think, any sort of power metal or anything like that.
But I guess that kind of ends up as the question. How long do you feel like you have to, keep doing the same thing? So, like, if Megadeth, they got their new album coming out titled 13 with the E's or 3's and the whatever. I'm not excited about that.
Uh-huh.
But if they don't put Vic Rattlehead on the cover, are you pissed off about it?
Yeah.
Like, does it...
I wouldn't be pissed off. I mean, as long as they just don't do something completely not them, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just feel like as long as you can still tell what you're getting when you're looking at it, and it's still that kind of style of art, then fine. But when you go completely opposite, I don't know, if the new album cover is Dave Mustaine with a spiked bat, I'm gonna not buy the album.
I think Varg might have something to say about that.
Yeah, bomb.
And Varg, if you happen to be listening, please don't send us a bomb.
We're just kidding, Varg.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. That's cool.
But
yeah, no, I agree with you on that. But I think that sometimes it's just as bad if a band sticks to the same thing for too long.
Right. Yeah.
Iron Maiden doesn't have to put Eddie on the front of everything.
Yeah.
It's cool if they do, but they don't have to.
Yeah.
But I think our opinions of album artwork have kind of formed throughout the years of buying albums. And you look at like El Wadey, you know exactly what's going to be on the front of every El Wadey album. It's going to be some sort of like folk inspired thing. Slania had like it looked like a little girl in armor with a sword. Like you knew exactly what you were going to get.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kivamitz Druidi and Fintroll. You know what you're getting.
Amon Amarth.
Yeah, Amon Amarth has that guy.
Viking, yeah.
And you know exactly what you're getting from it. And I think that's, I think that's good.
Yeah.
All in all. But,
keeps their style going.
Yeah. So, I'm glad we got this topic out of the way because, we've kind of been talking about this on and off for weeks. So it was good to, to, kind of get on top of it. That's what she said. But anyway, next week we'll talk about our new band of the month. I hope you guys are excited about that.
That's right.
We're going to do some voting as soon as we're done.
Yeah,
all the people in the headquarters are going to vote.
It's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah. It's me and Murmaider and Christine.
Pickles the drummer.
Pickles the drummer's here. Yep, he's over there somewhere. So we just kind of want to remind you guys, you should be listening to Light and Darkness Radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that should be a norm for you guys now.
It's kind of become a norm for me. Whenever I'm not writing or listening to something specific, I tend to just kind of turn it on and just let it go.
Yep.
Because I think the guy's got a great playlist, and it's not the same things over and over again. It's always varied. And sometimes it's bands you like, sometimes it's bands you never heard of.
Yeah.
And half the stuff, I would say more than half, probably 90% of the stuff we review, he's playing it on there.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So, if you're curious about some of the bands that we review, I think, you listen to him for an hour, and you'll probably find something.
Yeah.
So, Murmaider, you got anything else you want to add?
Pickles the drummer is here, and he's, by the way, Pickles the drummer is Hell 22's cat.
Yep, it's Pickles the drummer.
That's his name.
Yeah.
And he's, walking in circles right now on the floor. Not Hell 22, but
Yeah, no, not yet. I'll do that when we're done. Well, looking forward to next week. Can't wait to see who the band of the month is. And Murmaider, I just actually, you know what? I've been meaning to tell you.
yeah. What's that?
Nah.